What's good? What's good? And welcome back to another one of my videos. In this video, I am going to briefly go over how to buy wire and buy amp your speakers. The question was given, I want to buy amp my speakers, but I'm not exactly certain how to hook everything up and then get it configured within the receiver. But I'm going to tell you like this, man. Don't worry about a thing, man. I got you. I got you, man. It's very simple. Check this out. I promise you it's very simple. Here we go. So when we buy wire or buy amp our speakers, we are enhancing the sound of our speakers by simply adding power separately to the highs and lows. Now, if we look at the back of our speakers, it's going to look like this. You'll see the 4 different terminals. 2 of them are connected with these metal bridges. So when you wire your speakers in a straight configuration, you're simply adding power to a single pair of these terminals, and then power is then transferred through the bridge up to the highs. But when we buy wire or buy amp our speakers, we are going to remove these bridges, okay, and add power to the highs and lows separately. In a buy wiring configuration, you are going to add power to all 4 of these terminals, but going to a single channel on the receiver, versus when we buy amp our speakers, we are going to add power to these terminals, but going to separate channels on the receiver. In a buy wiring configuration, you get to maximize the number of channels that your receiver has to power, versus when you buy amp your speakers, you're going to have to sacrifice 2 of your channels, because you're going to have to add the power going to the lows on one channel, power going to the highs on a separate channel. So very quickly, when we buy wire our speakers, we're going to start with a cable that looks a little something like this. And if you have not seen my video to create these cables, go check it out. These cables are very expensive. If you look on Amazon, you're going to spend hundreds of dollars buying these cables. Or you can check my video out, get the materials, make them yourself, and spend $20, $30 on a pair of cables. And matter of fact, you get 2 pair of cables for the same amount, because you get enough material where you can make multiple cables from. So you can spend $400 on a 2 pair of these cables, or you can watch my video, make your own, and only spend 40 bucks. All right, good to go. So if we look at these cables here, it's very self-explanatory. These 4 are going to the 4 terminals on the back of your speaker: positive, negative to the lows, positive, negative to the highs. And then this is basically a Y configuration. These are all tied into the positive, negative here, which goes on the back of your receiver. So if we look at our receiver, this is a Yamaha RX-A 1010, the Avantage 1010, but your receiver will look very similar to this, regardless of brand or model. If your receiver is capable of by wiring, meaning you have multiple amps, or by amping, I mean, you have multiple amps within your receiver, and you'll be able to tell that because it's going to illustrate here which channel to plug in if you are going to buy amp. But we are talking about buy wiring right now. So if I wanted to buy wire my speakers, my right speaker, I'm going to plug those 4 into the speaker, and then I'm going to take the other 2 and basically plug them in right here to the right speaker here on the receiver. Same thing for the left. Now, if I want to buy amp the speakers, cable's going to look a little different. It's going to have 4 and 4. So in this configuration, you're probably going to get more of a discernible difference in sound quality, in the enhancement. But again, you're sacrificing 2 of your channels. So if you're into home theater, now this will be great for 2-channel listening. But if you're into home theater, you got to keep in mind, if you want to buy amp your speakers, either one, run an external amp, or if you buy amp your speakers through the same receiver, you're sacrificing 2 channels. So when we buy amp our speakers, very simple. It's very similar to by wiring the speakers. You're going to run positive, negative to the lows, but instead of both the positive and negative to the lows and highs going to this one channel. Now we are going to take positive and negative for the lows here, positive and negative for the highs over here. Do the same thing for the left speaker. And it's that simple. Once you get that configured from a physical perspective, then you would go into your receiver and go into your amp assign menu and simply select the appropriate amp assignment. So it'll be 5 dot whatever, or whatever your, however many channels your amp is, but it's going to tell you inside the menu that this is for by wiring or by amping. I mean, for as far as by wiring, you just leave it, you know, as normal, and you know, and then you get the benefits from the speaker. But as far as by amping, you have to change the amp assignment within the receiver to by amping. Very simple. Any questions? Leave me a comment in the comment section below. Hit me up and I will get back to you. Peace. There it is.